Hey everybody! So on a Thursday, we are experts in our stories. Think about we've picture walked the stories, we've learned the most difficult vocabulary words from the story. Now it's time to show what we know. So we're going to answer a few questions in our reader's notebook. So before I get to the questions, let's just take a second and set up your page. Okay? So, there we go. I like to do a few things. I'm sorry you can't see my entire page here. Let me scooch it over just a little bit. There we go. So I always like to start at the date. So today is March the 18th, 2021. And I like to put down a title. So the title of this I put down was First Flight because our first story was about the Wright brothers. All right. Then I know there are 3 questions, so I numbered down the side 1, and then I gave myself some room to show what I know. So 3 lines down before I put my number 2. Don't rush and put yourself right here, because what if you have a lot to say, right? You'll run yourself out of room, and nobody likes erasing or having to redo their work. So give yourself room to work, and just know you have lots of space on the page. You don't have to squeeze it all into a line or 2. All right. With that said, I'm going to go back and I'm going to read the first question and we'll see what we can do. Here we go. Scoot back. There we go. All right. So I know it's about this story because that was the first one. Usually the first question takes us all the way back to the Wright brothers here. Look back at paragraph 5. Okay, that's key. We're going to look there. The Wright brothers spent 2 years designing a better plane. What happened after they did this? So paragraph 5, so this is paragraph 1, and it's tough to tell sometimes if they don't have the numbers right on the page, but paragraphs are indented, so you can kind of see that this whole first group of sentences, that's paragraph 1, this is paragraph 2, 3, 4. Oh, I found paragraph 5. Okay. So it says, the brothers returned home and spent 2 years designing a better plane. So we know they've been working hard. They changed this into this. Their old record had been 800 feet and 59 seconds, 852 feet. Sorry about my terrible printing. And I keep thinking it's 39 seconds, 59 seconds. So almost 1 minute. That's pretty good flying for the first plane. But remember, they've had 2 years to improve it. So let's find out what happened. Their hard work paid off. In October 1905, the Flyer 3 flew for 39 minutes. Maybe that's where I was remembering the 39 from. So that's many, many, many times longer. In fact, it flew so long, it ran out of gas. So it could have probably kept going. It was the beginning of modern air travel. From that time on, inventors were inspired by the Wright brothers, right? So it went a lot farther, and it ran out of gas. That's what I'm going to tell my reading notebook. Now, you can't just say farther. I mean, technically that's right. It did go farther, but you're not showing what you know. And that's the whole point of this. You're in your reading notebook. Let's write a nice, complete sentence so the principal knows that you can do it. So I'm going to say, the Flyer 3. And did you see how they named it? They named it with Roman numerals. It's like a really old-fashioned 3. The Flyer 3 flew for... I don't have enough room. Good thing I left myself all this space. 39 minutes. Exclamation point. Right? That's a big deal. Then it ran out of gas. Right? Have fun with your answers. Show what you know using capitals and spacing and exclamation points, right? Sometimes kids get the idea they just want to be done, but we want to be done well, right? We're going to move from good, you're good at answering the questions, but we want to be great. Number 2. All right, pause the video if you need to catch up with any of that writing. I'm going to go on to number 2. Whoa. Don't look at that page. That's our journal prompt. There it is. Look at the map from Amelia Earhart, Lost at Sea. Where did her flight begin? Okay, so in order to show you this one, I got to bounce back just a tiny bit to the map. There we go. All right, so it's right down here. Okay, so Amelia Earhart's final flight. I know it kind of ended over in the Pacific here because it said that's where the weather got bad and we think maybe she's lost. I'm going to put a question mark over here. I know that's where it ended, kind of mysteriously. So, I see where it starts. Look at this. It starts way up in North America. Does anyone know where that is, though? Minnesota is about here. So it's not Minnesota. California is about here. New York City is here. What do you think is right there? Does anyone know their geography? Let's see. Does it tell us in the text where it starts? It doesn't. I'm going to have to tell you. It started in Washington State. Way up here. Maybe in Seattle, Washington, maybe? If I reread this, I don't even know. I'm gonna take my best guess, and I'm going to answer that it happened in Washington. And I used the map to figure it out, right? Because I don't think it was in the text. So I'm going to say she... Whoa, I started to write started. She started in Washington State, because there is also Washington, D.C., and we don't want anyone getting mixed up. Number 3. Last one. Compare and contrast the Wright brothers on one side and Amelia Earhart on the other side. What were they famous for? Right? Okay, I can do this. All right, I'm going to need a little extra space to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and just use the space on my page. There we go. Sorry about my circles. This circle on this side is going to be for the Wright brothers. What they did. Over here, we have Earhart. Okay? So, first thing I'm going to tell you is the Wright brothers were boys. Earhart was a girl. Any other comparisons or contrasts? Right? The Wright brothers were famous for being the first flyers, the first airplane. Earhart did not make the first plane. She flew years later, but she flew over the ocean. Remember how she had went over the Atlantic Ocean? Okay. The Wright brothers, let's see. That's about all they did, right? They were very good engineers, because they made the planes. Engineer. But Earhart wasn't an engineer. She didn't make the planes. She was the pilot. She was an expert pilot. There were some things that they both did the same, though. They were both in aviation, so that means they both did planes. They both were firsts in their own kind, right? That's kind of how they got famous. And they were both from the same country. They were all from the United States, both the Wright brothers and Earhart. So here I am comparing and contrasting, talking about how they're the same and how they're different using a Venn diagram. Thanks, guys.